Snowy day in Lake Placid for race 3 of the BMW IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup. Former winner Axel Jung, taking gold on this track in 2019, ended the first run tied for 5th position with teammate and Olympic champion Christopher Groothair. Austin Florian of the USA had a great run from a top 8 position to be the leader at this stage, but Axel Jung proved that 3 seasons away from the track for the European sliders have not dulled their abilities, and a great second heat kept him narrowly in front of the US slider at the line. Nice sweater though.
Merry Christmas everyone, and a good year.
With nothing separating them, Axel Jung and Christopher Groothair went head-to-head on a one-run shootout. Groothair's never had a medal on this track. Both of his teammates have. That was all perhaps about to change as the Olympic champion laid down an absolutely perfect second heat, looking completely relaxed on what is a very tricky Lake Placid track. Getting through mistake-free is all but impossible, but the way that he shot the chicane showed exactly how much speed he was going to have at the line, and he eased away by over a third of a second.
Merry Christmas.
Groothair was still the leader as we got to the top 3. Jung Seung-gui of Korea, 37 hundredths away from the leader. Not the most comfortable of loads onto the sled, and that rather set the tone for the rest of the run. He did have time in hand initially over Christopher Groothair, but that margin decreased with every turn. And Jung just didn't seem to have the composure on the sled that he'd had in the first run. Maybe the adjustments he'd made weren't working. Maybe the track had moved away from where he thought it was going to be. Either way, he fell back into second place. The final 2 sliders remained both British. Marcus Wyatt, the winner in Whistler, remains the World Cup point leader coming into race 3 in Lake Placid, but he too was having a little bit of a tougher time of it in the first heat. We're getting on for 0.2 of a second in hand as he started the run. That had soon evaporated. Mistakes early on here, as at most tracks, are brutally punished. His gap came down and the speed was not where he needed it to be. There was too much ice between him and the finish line, and it was soon clear that the World Cup points leader was not going to finish in the lead on this run. The question is, would he remain in the medals? 3rd at the line, 1 to go. Final slider had been a long way clear of his rivals in the first heat. Matt Weston of Great Britain had 28 hundredths in hand over second, 37 over third, and 45 hundredths in hand over Christopher Groothair from the first heat. Another big, strong start from Weston, and a cool, calm and collected second run meant that even when errors crept in, he didn't overreact. Out of Shady 2, the midpoint, he still had a handy enough advantage, and though the speed wouldn't match Groothair, his time taken over the 2 runs would. The speed dropped away, and with it the margin, but it was enough to win by 16 hundredths of a second, his second career gold medal. Matt Weston, the winner from Christopher Groothair, with Jung Seung-gui rounding out the podium. And this time, Weston shares the medal with no one. Jung is now our points leader at the Christmas break.